Before we came on air, I spoke to Christophe Premat, an MP for François Hollande's ruling Socialist Party. I asked him why they had decided to stand aside in some of next week's elections.
In 3 regions, we decided as a Socialist Party not to compete, to make sure that we can prevent the National Front from acceding to power. It's very important to do that. Yes, I know it's a sacrifice for these 3 regions, but objectively, if you just look at the results, we don't have any chance to win the region. We are in the 3rd position, and then the Conservative Party is the 2nd position. So I think it's better to make sure that the Conservatives win in order to avoid 6 years governed by the National Front in those important regions.
What do you think that would mean?
We know the program of the National Front. We know the economic part of it. We know the program concerning the migration, the immigration issue and things like that. We know what they propose at the local level. We think that it's contradictory to the Republican values. So I think it's better to make sure that they cannot come to the power. And of course, after this election, we will have to pursue our work in order to face this growth of National Front.
But they're gaining in popularity, that's quite clear. Isn't that because you haven't been tough enough on these things, such as migration?
I don't think so. I think if you just look at this year, as it's a particular year, so first of all, I would like to remind you that we had a special circumstances. We had the terror attacks 3 weeks ago, so we knew that this election was going to be a little bit strange because of this heavy context. Then we had a few terror attacks.
But that benefited them, you're saying?
Yes, of course, because there is a feeling of fear, feeling of that people see just there is a big political transition in the world, in the Middle East. People are a little bit afraid of the globalization. They see the terror attacks, they see the crisis of refugees, they see all these crises that we had this year. So I think that was a pretty much tough year. And of course, the context with unemployment, terror attacks, immigrations, the National Front deals with these issues. So that's why they made a good score yesterday.
There's a real prospect, isn't there, that they could win the presidential election the year after next?
I don't think we should jump too quickly to the presidential election. Of course, it would depend on the political offer. It would depend on how we apprehend this last election, because I think maybe we need to do politics in another way. I know that we have been saying that for decades now, but it can be the opportunity to change the institutions, to renew the institutions, to have a new political engagement and things like that. We have big challenges the next year.
Christophe Premat. The BBC has learnt that